TNA, they take one step forward and then two steps back. I watched Impact Wrestling this week, which I thought was a really good show. I think TNA has shown a lot of improvement in recent months. You had Bobby Roode come out. He's the World Heavyweight Champion. They've booked him as a solid heel World Champion. He's squeaked by victories, but nonetheless, he's picked up a lot of wins, and the title means something. You actually want to see somebody beat him for the title now because he's held it for so long, and he does what a heel is supposed to do. He brags about being champion and being the best, and you just want to see somebody kick his ass. So this is very basic booking, and TNA's been doing it well. And you have Hulk Hogan come out, and Hogan says that there's a bunch of guys in the back that want the World Heavyweight title shot, and he proceeds to bring out the entire roster. Great stuff here. All the guys want to be number one. Very simple booking here, but it's effective. And that's the thing about TNA that has really improved in recent weeks. I mean, back in the day, years ago, TNA would have so many things happen on one show, you wouldn't know how to react to anything. You don't know who to cheer for or who to boo. I mean, I think in 1 year they had Mr. Anderson turn like 4 or 5 different times in the span of a year. It was ridiculous. But now it's clearly defined who you're supposed to cheer and who you're supposed to boo. And I really like what they're doing with the tag division as well. You have the storyline with AJ Styles against Daniels and Kazarian. I think Daniels and Kazarian are really coming into their own as a tag team. And I like the storyline with Dixie Carter. It's very simple, but once again, it's effective. Here's the problem now. TNA announced that they're going to start doing live editions of Impact, which is fine. I think it's worth a shot. And then they're moving the time slot to 8 o'clock, which I also think is a good idea. I went to a TNA House Show in Ontario, California a few weeks ago, and not a lot of people, maybe about 1,000 people at the most. But the one thing I really noticed was that there were a lot of kids in the audience. And I think TNA realizes this. This is another positive, I think. You know, I know a lot of the old Attitude Era fans like to see the excessive blood and all the violence and all that. But the fact is TNA needs to start building their product to a wider audience. And that was one problem I had with TNA also. Like the constant blood. Like they had guys bleeding on every single show, and it was just overkill. So they've toned it down a lot, which I think is good. And, you know, I know a lot of people might not like this, but it's good for them to try to branch out and draw in some of the younger audience. And at the TNA House Show, there were a lot of kids there, and that really surprised me. But I think that's a direction TNA needs to keep going. So I'm all for the 8 o'clock thing. Now, the point of the whole video here, TNA has been doing so well, they've been making progress, and then they announced that Brooke Hogan is signed with TNA, and she's going to lead the Knockout division. What the hell? This is just a terrible, terrible decision. There's no good reason for her to be in TNA wrestling. I don't even think she's a fan of wrestling. I mean, just judging by how she acted on Hogan Knows Best, she doesn't seem like she could care less about TNA wrestling or wrestling in general. So, I mean, to me, it just seems like it's Hulk Hogan getting his daughter in there, giving her something to do, and it's BS. There's absolutely no point in it, and it really shows to me that these guys still don't get it. And I hope that they will reconsider this decision. I hope somebody in TNA will realize this is not a good idea, and you're trying to give the audience this perception that we're changing and we're more focused now and we're going to make things better, and then you bring in somebody like Brooke Hogan, and you basically tell those fans that you really don't know what you're doing after all. I think it's a bad decision, and I hope it doesn't happen. But I'm guessing she's already signed a contract, and it will move forward, at least for the time being. But like I said, I really think that TNA needs to move on without Hogan and Bischoff. I think that that's still a big problem here. And I mean, Garrett Bischoff, he might one day have potential, but I don't think he's ready for the big time. I don't think that he's at the level where he should be on TV every week. And I think he needs more time. And as long as guys like Brooke Hogan, or did I just say guys like Brooke Hogan, women like Brooke Hogan and guys like Garrett Bischoff, as long as they're on TV every week and they're a focal point, I mean, it's really a spit in the face to all the fans. It's a spit in the face to the guys in the locker room that go out there and bust their ass every week. It just slaps them in the face, and I really hope there's change, but not really so sure about that.